So this is how slowly the news is given. What is the news is given? Now the senses have to be stopped. It stops interacting with the matter. Slowly, it slowly becomes immovable. And and slowly, which is now the senses which are influenced by the material modes of material action, material nature. Now they have to stop coming in contact with the three modes of material nature. They have to come. They should stop. How it can be stopped? Only when they focus in Lord. When they focus their attention in Lord, then only they can become transcendent to the three modes of material. So that is what is been given. Only when they concentrate in Lord. Yesterday I saw my father. My father, mother, both are very critical. Night 1:30 I'm seeing he's doing japa. It's very important. Now anyhow, body has to go. But it is not that just lying down. There are many people in ICU, they were just lying down. But he was chanting and his face was so glorious, and it was so effulgent. Sri Vaishnava. So he was chanting at that time, 1 o'clock. I was thinking, what is his mouth is vibrating. So this is what is most important. So time comes for everyone. Everyone, one of us have to give this examination. So in this verse, what has been told is, when you concentrate in Lord, that is the time you stop interacting with the modes of material nature. When you stop interacting with the modes of material nature, then you become transcendental to all the gunas. That is the three modes of material nature. And that can happen only when you concentrate in Lord. He must immovably be established, and in this way, all the sources of hindrance on the path of one's meeting with Lord automatically clears up. Because that is our destination, to go back to God and take Lord's lotus feet is our destination. It can happen only when we concentrate in Lord. So, old age, all these things is going to happen to all of us. We don't know whether we can reach that point also. It's 90 years. What is so effulgent? Chanting the holy name. That is more important. Okay. Now about Dhritarashtra has been spoken that he left everything. Because Vidura told, why are you sitting? What are you doing? You're sitting in the house and eating like a dog. Just go out of the house. And along with Vidura, Vidura showed him the direction. And that is the direction. Not to be attached to the house. One has to go out of the house. Nowadays, go out of the house, just go to the hospital and be in ICU. There is no one. There is no one. That is how a person goes out of the house, as all the asakti from the house is removed. Then he sits alone in the ICU. No one is there. Practically no one is there, though everyone is there, but no one is there. So at that time, a person should realize, I should chant the holy name of Lord. The Lord is there with me. Now just see, this is also realization. Even ICU is a realization, intensive care unit. Yeah, that is real care. What is the real care? You are left alone. At the time, the realization, Lord is there with you. That is the most important realization a person should have at that time. Okay. So, who will read? Himala?
हरे कृष्ण माता जी। बस्त माया गुणोदर को निरुद्ध करणाशय निवर्तिताखिलाहार आस्थे स्थाणुरिवाचल तस्यांतरायो वैभाभु संन्यस्तखिल कर्मणः। Translation and purport. He will have to suspend all the actions of the senses, even from the outside, and will have to be impervious to interactions of the senses which are influenced by the modes of material nature. After renouncing all material duties, he must become immovably established beyond all sources of hindrances on the path. Purport: Dhritarashtra had attained, by the yogic process, the stage of negation of all sorts of material reaction. The effects of the material modes of nature draw the victim to indefatigable desires of enjoying matter, but one can escape such false enjoyment by the yogic process. Every sense is always busy in searching for its food, and thus the conditioned soul is assaulted from all sides and has no chance to become steady in any pursuit. Maharaj Yudhishthir was advised by Narad not to disturb his uncle by attempting to bring him back home. He was now beyond the attraction of anything material. The material modes of nature, the gunas, have their different modes of activities, but above the material modes of nature is a spiritual mode, which is absolute. Nirguna means without reaction. The spiritual mode and its effect are identical. Therefore, the spiritual quality is distinguished from its material counterpart by the word nirguna. After complete suspension of the material modes of nature, one is admitted to the spiritual sphere, and action dictated by the spiritual modes is called devotional service or bhakti. Bhakti is therefore nirguna, attained by direct contact with the absolute. Hare Krishna.
So direct contact with the absolute can only happen when we chant the holy name. सवा अद्यतनाद् राजन् परतः पञ्चमे हनि फले वरं हास्यति स्वं तच्च भस्मी भविष्यति. सह ही va in all probabilities adhyah today tanata from rajan, O king, paratah ahead, panchame on the fifth day, kalevaram body, hasyati shall quit, swam his own, that cha also, basmi ashes, bhavishyati will turn to. So, O king, he will quit his body, most probably on the fifth day from today, and his body will turn to ashes. So this is known as Jyotishastra. Jyotishastra clearly indicates when whose time is come. And this is how Jyotishastra allows the person to completely concentrate in Lord. Now, if I know I have only 5 days from today, then what should I do? I should not be scared. I should just chant the holy name. And that anugraha only Krishna can give. Even to not get scared also, Krishna only can give anugraha. Sat anugrahaya. Today, morning class, a nice class, it was 3.9.2, where Brahma says, it's only because of your anugraha I'm able to see the form. It's only anugraha. So the indication comes, oh, now this much time is left for you. Then what one should do? Pray to Lord to give that anugraha to chant his name. Even to chant his name also one requires his anugraha. Now, fifth day from today, the Dhritarashtra is going to leave the body. That has been clearly told. So now what did the Dhritarashtra do? He concentrated his mind in Lord. See, he must have done a lot of impious activity, whatever it may be. But just because of mercy of a devotee, he got devotional path. So just imagine if Vidura would not have scolded him, Vidura would not have guided him, he would have not done all these things. Even though he must have done a rotten things, he was so envious person. Because of him, so many people lost their lives. But just because of taking shelter of a devotee, everything is nullified. Like how Graha, the crocodile, took shelter of Gajendra, and in this way first got the moksha. It is why devotees association is very much required for a person who is suffering. Now the talk is going on in our family. You should keep a boy from an agency so that he takes care. I said, shut your mouth, all of you. not to do all these things, because that person who may appoint 1,200 also, but he's not a devotee. He will not give devotional teachings. A person is suffering, and practically at the end of the life, one has to give devotees association. Here, devotees association is the most important association. That is why one should take decisions on the base of knowledge which is given in Bhagavatam. Just because of the association of Vidura, Dhritarashtra could end his life very nicely. In the same way, if a devotee is present near a suffering person who is practically going to end his life, whose association is more important? Not the boy who is coming from the agency, but it is a devotee who should sit. Anyone can be. Need not be the only daughters or sons. No. It can be any devotee who sits and chants the holy name. And the power of chanting gives them the kavach. And that kavach is remembering Krishna at the time of quitting the body. And that is success. That is the pass out of the examination. Like you have Bhakti Shastra examination. So what is the passing? You have to get these marks. So in the same way, we have to pass the examination called death. At that time, whom we should have around us, who will support this examination? And that are the devotees. And that is how Vidura has been instrumental in making Gandhari and Dhritarashtra pass this examination. Okay. So now, Krishna Priya Mataji.
Hare Krishna Mataji, Dandavat Pranam. Sava ajatanaad rajan paratah paschamehani kalevaram hasyati svam tachas bhasmi bhavishyati. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O king, he will quit his body, most probably on the 5th day from today, and his body will turn to ashes. Purport. Narada Muni's prophecy prohibited Yudhishthira Maharajas from going to the place where his uncle was staying, because even after quitting the body by his own mystic power, Dhritarashtra would not be in need of any funeral ceremony. Narada Muni indicated that his body by itself would burn to ashes. The perfection of the yoga system is attained by such mystic power. The yogi is able to quit his body by his own choice of time and can attain any planet he desires by turning the present body into ashes by self-made fire. Hare Krishna.
Dayyabhagni virdehe patyu patni sahotaje bahi sitapati sadvi tamagni manuveshyati vekshyati dayyamane agnivir. While it is burning, the body is going to burn by the fire. Patyuhu of the husband, patnihi the wife, sahaputtaje along with the thatched cottage. Now in the 5th day, what is going to happen? Both of them are going to be burnt in the house. Bahi sita patim, outside. Sita situated, patim unto the husband, sadhvi the chaste lady, tam that agnim fire, anuvekshati looking with great attention will enter the fire. While outside observing her husband will burn in the fire of mystic power along with his thatched house, his chaste wife will enter the fire with rapt attention. That is how the wife who is chaste cannot allow the husband to die alone. She also goes in that fire. I don't know why these verses are coming. My mother is also critical, because my mother always says, I should go Subhagan. My father was critical. Piche, she also got admitted in the same hospital. Now both are critical. Verses are the Bhagavatam is the answer for everything. A chaste wife cannot see her husband dying. So she also enters the fire. And that is how Vidura became blessing for both of them. Anyhow, by how she's chased right from the beginning, she has also closed her eyes. Because husband has no eyes, she has also closed eyes. They're exactly matching with my parents. My father has no eyes. He can hardly see this much. They met with an accident when he was just 58 years. He retired. Next day, it's a big accident. He lost his eyes. In one eye, he can just see this much, just this much. And from that day till 90 years, that means 32 years, even my mother is at home serving. That means she has also practically closed her eyes to all the sense objects. So sadhavi means one who is completely dedicated to the service of the husband. And yeah, I was always useless. In the preaching task, hardly I used to get time to go. Whatever possible. But still, the wife is so dedicated. And Lord likes to see such dedicated people. That is how he gives because of the chastity of a woman, she can conquer even the Lord. That is a power. That is how Krishna gives a mercy. Now, the woman knows, chaste woman knows, husband is burning. She also enters the fire. Okay. Gadadhar Prabhu, please read.
Hare Krishna, Dandavat Namaji. Text number 57.
It is 58.
Savaadhyatanaad Rajan Paratah Panchame Hani Kalevaram Hashyati Swam Tacha Basmi Bhavishyati. O king, he will quit his body most probably on the 5th day from today, and his body will turn to ashes. Purport Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Prabhuji, it's the next verse. Prabhuji, it's the next verse. You are reading 57.
Next verse. Okay. Okay, sorry. Text number 58. Dahyamane Agnibedehe Patyuhu Patni Sahotaje Bahi Sitapatim Sadhavi Tam Agnim Anupekshati. While outside observing her husband, who will burn in the fire of mystic power along with his thatched cottage. His chaste wife will enter the fire with rapt attention. Gandhari was an idle chaste lady, a life companion of her husband, and therefore, when she saw her husband burning in the fire of mystic yoga along with his cottage of leaves, she despaired. She left home after losing her 100 sons, and in the forest she saw that her most beloved husband was also burning. Now she actually felt alone, and therefore she entered the fire of her husband and followed her husband to death. This entering of a chaste lady into the fire of her dead husband is called the sati rite, and the action is considered to be most perfect for a woman. In a later age, the sati rite became an obnoxious criminal affair because of the ceremony was forced upon even an unwilling woman. In this fallen age, it is not possible for any lady to follow the sati rite as chastity as it was done by Gandhari and others in the past ages. A chaste wife like Gandhari would feel the separation of her husband to be more burning the actual fire. Such a lady can observe the sati rite voluntarily, and there is no criminal force by anyone. When the rite became a formality, only and force was applied upon a lady to follow their principle. Actually, it became criminal, and therefore the ceremony was to be stopped by the state law. This prophecy of Narada Muni to Maharaja Yudhishthira forbade him to go to his widowed aunt. Hare Krishna.
Vidurastu tadaಶ್ಚರ್ಯಂ ನಿಶಾಮ್ಯ ಪುರಂದನ हर्षशोकयुतस्तस्मात् गन्तातीर्थनिषेवकः. Vidura also said, Vidura also too, but that incident, Ascharyam, wonderful, Nishamya, seeing, Kurunandana, O king, son of the Kuru dynasty, Harsha, delight, Shoka, grief, Yutaha, affected by Tasmat from that place, Ganta will go away, Tirtha, place of pilgrimage, Nishevakaha, for being enlivened. Now Vidura is seeing both of them have burnt their body. It has gone to ashes. Now Vidura is affected with delight also. What is the delight? Anyhow suffering person is left the body. Generally, when you cannot see the suffering souls, that is one delight. At the same time, there is grief. Oh, they are our people. The journey with them is going to end. So grief is also there. Delight is also there. Then what is it Vidura going to do? After that, Vidura will leave the place for sacred, that place of sacred pilgrimage. Then, now sacred pilgrimage, just see, Badrikashram, there all these incidents happen, and Vidura is going to leave that place after seeing. But at that time, he has both the emotions simultaneously. Like when a mother gets a daughter married, she's in delight also, she's in grief also, isn't it? When you see our own people dying, especially those who are suffering, there is a delight. You want to get a new body. At that time, there's a grief. Oh, the journey with them is going to end. So both the emotions have been spoken for Vidura, and now Vidura is going to leave the place. Okay. Kusum?
Yes, Mataji. I'll read, Mataji.
Yes, read na 59th verse.
Yes, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Pranam. Vidurastu tad आश्चर्यं निशम्य कुरुनन्दना हर्षशोकायुतस्तस्मात् दन्तातीर्थनिषेवकः. Translation purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Vidura, being affected with delight and griefs, will then leave that place of sacred pilgrimage. Purport: Vidura was astonished to see the marvelous departure of his brother Dhritarashtra as a liberated yogi, for in his past life he was much attached to materialism. Of course, it was only due to Vidura that his brother attained the desirable goal of life. Vidura was therefore glad to learn about it, but he was sorry that he could not make his brother turn into a pure devotee. This was not done by Vidura because of Dhritarashtra's being inimical to the Pandavas, who were all devotees of the Lord. An offense at the feet of a Vaishnava is more dangerous than an offense at the lotus feet of the Lord. Vidura was certainly very liberal to bestow mercy upon his brother Dhritarashtra, whose past life was very materialistic. But ultimately, the result of such mercy certainly depended on the will of the Supreme Lord in the present life. Therefore, Dhritarashtra attained liberation only, and after many such liberated states of life, one can attain to the stage of devotional service. Vidura was certainly very mortified by the death of his brother and sister-in-law, and the only remedy to mitigate such lamentation was to go out to pilgrimage. Thus, Maharaja Yudhishthir had no chance to call back Vidura, his surviving uncle. Hare Krishna Mataji. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Last verse. इत्युक्त्वा स्वर्गं नारदः स तुम्बुरु युधिष्ठिरो वचस्तस्य हृदीकृत्वा जहाश्चुचः इति उक्त्वा. In this way, Narada addressed. Narada Aruhat. He ascended from where? Outer space, Swargam. Narada, along with Tamburu. He has a stringent stringed instrument. Yudhishthira, he spoke about Yudhishthira. So he spoke to Yudhishthira. Vachaha asya, in this way he gave instructions. Hridik Krutva. And Yudhishthira also kept these instructions in the heart. And then Ajahata Shuchaha, he gave up lamentation. That is why Guru is needed in these conditions of confusions. In these conditions of confusion, it is Guru who guides the person. Everyone has the confusion in the life. For everyone, this is going to come. To whom a person should take shelter of Guru. Shiksha Guru, Diksha Guru. That is how Narada, he gave instructions to Yudhishthira, who was lamenting, oh, my uncle is also gone. Oh, Vidura is gone. 2 uncles have gone. My aunt has gone. What they are doing? Will they get some food to eat? Then the news is how slowly it has been started. He didn't give directly, they have burnt to ashes. No. You see how Narada speaks. He first tells that they went to a wonderful place where all rishis stay. And there they did Ashtanga Yoga. Their mind was completely focused in Lord. Slowly the news has come that after 5 days they are going to give up the body. In this way, the Guru guides the surrendered souls. So Yudhishthira took the instructions to heart and gave a lamentation. Okay, Narayana read.
इत्युक्त्वाथारुहत् स्वर्गं नारद सह तुम्बुरुः युधिष्ठिरो वचस्तस्य रुधीकृत्वा जहाच्छुसः. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Having thus spoken, the great sage Narada, along with his Veena, ascended into outer space. Yudhishthira kept his instructions in his heart and so was able to get rid of all lamentations. Purport: Sri Narad Ji is an eternal spaceman, having been endowed with a spiritual body by the grace of the Lord. He can travel in the outer spaces of both the material and spiritual worlds without restriction and can approach any planet in unlimited space within no time. We have already discussed his previous life as a son of a maidservant. Because of his association with pure devotees, he was elevated to the position of an eternal spaceman and thus had freedom of movement. One should therefore try to follow in the footsteps of Narad Muni and not make a futile effort to reach other planets by mechanical means. Maharaja Yudhishthir was a pious king and therefore he could see Narad Muni occasionally. Anyone who desires to see Narad Muni must first be pious and follow in the footsteps of Narad Muni. Hare Krishna.
Here we stop. The sense of Bhakti and Purport of the first canto, 13th chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam, Dhritarashtra quits home. 2 meanings are there. Dhritarashtra quit the home of Pandavas. Dhritarashtra quit the body also. That is also home only. It has 2 subtle meanings. One is bronze, one is silver. Okay. Now, disappearance of Lord Krishna. That will be the next chapter that we will do next week. Any questions?
Hare Krishna Mataji. Bhakti is nirguna. What does it mean? Bhakti is nirguna.
Bhakti has no influence of Sato, Raju and Tamas. You cannot say, I am a good person, and that is why I am doing Bhakti. A good person need not do Bhakti. Bhakti is beyond good. You don't have to be good. You are beyond good. You are divine. If you are doing Bhakti, you don't have to be good. You don't have to get any good name. Because you are beyond that, you are divine. Divinity is the most important characteristics of Bhakti. Generally, we try to be good. We want good name from people. See, we are not talking about Rajas and Tamas. The topmost is Sato. Now, even beyond Sato is Bhakti. You be divine, that is enough. Somebody is giving you good name, somebody is giving you bad name. What it matters? What it matters? That is why it is very important. Be divine in the society. Give Harinam to everyone. Everyone is suffering. Your sister, your brother, your kith and kin, everyone is suffering. So instead of becoming very good to people, hello, how are you? You're fine. You don't have to be good. You say Hare Krishna. Be bold. Be bold and give Krishna name to everyone. That is most important. You can say occupation of a devotee. Give Harinam to others. At least by hearing one time Krishna, so many sins will be removed. Your sister is suffering, your sister, brother-in-law is suffering. But you see people suffering, you don't want to give Harinam, then your mother is suffering, father is suffering, your children are suffering. Better is give Harinam. We ourselves are suffering. So that is why it is said, Sagunan Samati Tetan Brahma Goyan Kalpade. Devotion is beyond Nirguna.
Yes, Mataji. Second question, Dhritarashtra attained liberation only because he was not a devotee? Yeah.
Where it is?
59th verse.
Dhritarashtra, yeah. But ultimately, the result of such mercy is certainly dependent on the will of the Supreme Lord in the present life. Therefore, Dhritarashtra attained liberation. After many such liberated state of life, one can attain the state of Krishna service. So yes, he attained liberation. Liberation from the suffering. But then again, Vidura was certainly very liberal to bestow mercy upon his brother, Dhritarashtra, whose past life was very materialistic. So he bestowed the mercy, but devotional service, to get devotional service, Bahunam Janmanam Ante, Gyan Varman Prapadyate Vasudeva Sarvamiti Samatma Subhudha. When he performed devotional service, then ultimately a devotee gets devotional service in the next life. So liberation is there, no doubt. But then it will take some time to come again to devotional service.
So he got liberation from what? Liberation from miseries.
Got liberation from the materialistic life.
Materialistic life.
We are not talking about Sahujya. We are not talking about Sahujya. We are not talking about, there are 5 types of mukti.
Liberation.
We are not talking about anything about this. He got liberated from the materialistic life. He'll get a chance again to perform devotional life, devotional service, because he has come in contact with the devotee. So, mukti hitva anyata rupam sarupena vivasiti. He has understood his sarupa, that is always servant of Krishna. And in this way, he'll perform devotional service and go back to God.
But he became mystic and he got the power to quit his body at any time. That power, he got mystic power?
Yeah.
Within 5 days?
Because of the tapasya. Whatever was a tapasya on the seeing one one's people dying, staying again, but again going to the forest, doing the tapasya. So much of trouble he has taken. So when a person does a lot of Ashtanga Yoga, he has the power to burn the body. That type of Ashtanga Yoga he has done. Maybe in the last 40 years.
And what is the name of that Siddhi? There are Ashta Siddhis. By the yogic process, one can attain Ashta Siddhi. So what is the name of this Siddhi?
Yeah, Siddhi means something you're getting. Here you're vanquishing yourself. And then Ishta Siddhi is there. What you want, that will happen. I want to quit the body, will happen. Ishta Siddhi. Like Bhishma Pitama also had that. He can quit the body. Ishta Siddhi.
Yes.
So many things are there.
Yeah.
You can become lighter, you can travel.
Yes. Thank you, ma'am.
And even that also, Vashi Siddhi, you can do Vash also. So stop here. Vanchakalpatarubhishya Kripasindu Devachapatikanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Vishnu.